Hi everyone, welcome to another Nature Walks video. You join me up in the woodland today and I want to introduce you to another wildflower, nice easy one for you to identify. It's very common in the woodland and is in beautiful flower at the moment. So just to show you where I am, I'm sort of just walking through a bit of a sort of woodland lane, so nothing too unusual about it. And hopefully what you can see is lots of the plant that I want to show you. So it's this tall green one that's growing in all of these different places, here, and also all in front of me. So here. Now, the actual leaves themselves are quite distinctive, but we've got lots of flowers. So I'm going to show you the flower. So here it is. I think this is a really spectacular flower. Look at that. What a piece of art that is. Now you might recognise it because there's actually lots of garden varieties of this family. This is the iris family. But in the UK there are only two native irises that you can stumble across. So there is yellow flag iris and then there is stinking iris. And yellow flag iris, as its name suggests, has a yellow flower. And the stinking iris, which is what this one is, has these amazing purple veined, sort of almost like whitish brown based flowers. They really are quite ornate, and what's amazing about them is that really the only bit of the flower that's real is these three petals. That's the real flower, so those three petals on the outside. All of this sort of garnish at the top here is all about trying to attract and direct the pollinators. So what the plant wants to do is attract the bees particularly, but lots of other pollinators, down through this tube, and underneath here, down in that little well, is where the pollination happens, where the stigmas are and the anthers are, that will help eventually produce the quite iconic pods of this plant actually. You might recognise the flowering pod more than you do this plant as it is now, because they're the ones that have those big clumps of vibrant orange berries all together, which you can have a look for much later into the year, into the autumn. But the other way you can identify this is also having a look at the leaves. So they've got quite an iconic leaf shape. So I want to show you that now. So in that same plant, what you can see is, if I clear away a little bit around the base here, you can see that it grows in an amazing fan shape. Can you see that? So each leaf sort of coming off from the same central stem. A little bit like your hand actually, so if you put your hand out like that, it's got that same look about it. But if you turn your hand to the side, you can see it's very thin on that angle, and that's exactly the same with this plant here. I don't know if this will show it very well, but yeah, pretty well. Yeah, you can see it doesn't grow out horizontally very far, but then if I come the other angle and perspective, you can see how wide it is, and that's a really good thing to look out for in both irises. Now, as I said, there's two irises. You've got yellow flag iris, and this one's called stinking iris. And it's called stinking iris because if you smell the leaf, which I'm going to do for you, so you can just break any. I'll break this one because it's already looking a little bit raggedy. So if you break off the leaf and you scrunch it up, as always, and you give it a good sniff, then what you should smell is like a roast beef smell or like a gravy granule smell. Some people don't like it. I quite like it, actually. I think it's quite pleasant actually, but that's why it's called stinking iris, is because it's got this very distinct smell, and it does tend to smell all the way through the year, although at certain times it peaks a little bit more. So hopefully that's a nice easy one for you to look out for. There's not too much to mix them up with. Generally, stinking iris grows in sort of these wooded, dry places, sometimes in sort of wet verges as well. It's quite happy in wet conditions, but yellow flag iris tends to be one that's restricted to very wet areas, particularly around sort of streams or ponds. So quite a nice distinct difference. So yeah, have a look around and see whether you can bump into one, a nice easy one for you. Okay, enjoy, bye.